Hello, everyone. Thanks for hanging on for the last couple of sessions this afternoon. My name's Carolyn Colley, and I'm president of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation. And I want to hit replay. I haven't been able to see that video yet, and as you'll hear us talk about in a couple of minutes, Lahaina, Maui is my own family's hometown. And it's quite an emotional and special place for me. So I'm really anxious to talk to people who have been there and people who can tell us more about the situation on the ground, particularly for small businesses. But listen, let's, get right to it. One of the favorite parts and things I love about my job is getting to talk to really committed and credible people who want to come and help solve problems together between business and government and all of us who can help small businesses through disaster preparation and recovery. So it's our treat today to be joined by SBA Administrator Isabel Guzman. She has been such a tremendous partner to all of us, our organizations, and particularly the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation. Can we just start first? Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Can we just start quickly with an audience poll, a quick one?
Sure.
Okay, raise your hand if you know and love a small business. Do you?
Better be everybody.
Who doesn't, right? So I think we're in the right room for this conversation, Administrator Guzman. I would love to hear about your travels. If you ever want to look at kind of a travel log, go on X, look at her feed. This woman is everywhere. She's opening plants, she's opening businesses, she's having, holding roundtables and talking to small business owners everywhere. So her handle is SBA Isabel, and I was joking that sounds like an action figure. Maybe we'll make one for her. But SBA Isabel, where have you been lately, and what are you hearing when you're out there talking to business owners?
Well, it's exactly right. What SBA does is on main streets, it's in manufacturing centers, it's in communities where small businesses have this outsized impact, and which then ripples and has an impact on our broader economy and global competitiveness. And so I am out there quite a bit on the road, meeting with our small businesses. I come from a small business family, that's my background, and so to be able to talk to them, constantly monitoring what the challenges and opportunities are for them as they navigate, of course, post-pandemic, those initial challenges that we had to deal with at the SBA when we scaled to help support millions, but beyond that now, and taking advantage of opportunities and really participating in the marketplace. And so, of course, National Small Business Week just closed out, so I was somewhere every day. So I look busier than normal, but going from DC to New Hampshire to Milwaukee to Colorado and then Montana, just really seeing the best success stories across the country, across all of our programs, from trade to government contracting to some of our great lenders and our networks, and truly reflecting on the dynamism that we're starting to see again in this country with small business applications approaching 18 million now. I've been saying 17.
More than ever.
17 and a half, and now it's edging up
optimism,
to nearly 18 since the start of the administration. And truly, that is historic high. That is reflected across industries, across zip codes. And so it's a lot of seeing these incredibly hopeful, optimistic people jumping in to try to solve problems or serve their communities and navigating the challenges that we see in the marketplace.
You've done so many things in terms of top priorities. At the SBA, you're looking at access to capital, lots of the barriers that small business owners face. Why is disaster preparedness and recovery, just disaster in general, a priority? What brings it into your top three?
Yeah, and this is something, it's over 6 decades, actually, longer than FEMA exists, SBA has been involved in disasters. And so we're right there across the board, serving with our federal partners in responding to disaster, mainly on the recovery part, the tail end, the long end recovery for small businesses. And we don't just support the small businesses directly. From our perspective, small businesses are dependent on their local communities, and so healing the community through helping helping the renters and the homeowners. That means that we're helping their employees and their customers recover quickly. So SBA has been engaged in disaster response, filling the marketplace gaps where insurance or underinsurance exists, or where there's just massive devastation that requires government intervention to help us speed the recovery. And so truly, it's one of my favorite programs at the SBA because it gives us an opportunity to help communities rebuild. And now, with our shift in the Biden-Harris administration, it's been about leveraging the whole of SBA, because when those small businesses are facing these challenges and trying to rebuild quickly, their odds of success diminish rapidly. So making sure that they have all the technical assistance, the capital, including disaster relief, and contract opportunities even, and helping rebuild, as we have in Hawaii, leaned in quite heavily to work with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to make sure small businesses were a part of that response.
With more than 1,000 small businesses destroyed in Lahaina, did you come in earlier in that process? Is there a number or a threshold where SBA becomes involved sooner, or is it more geared toward, as you said, the recovery?
Yeah, I mean, at any given moment, I might have half of my declarations presidential level and the other half just SBA sole. Plus, we do a lot of USDA specific, ag declarations to support with capital relief around our ag industry. But in this case, I went immediately with FEMA to visit Lahaina, obviously with Front Street devastated. Both Senator Hirono as well as Administrator Criswell reached out to make sure that SBA had a strong and immediate presence to try to support those businesses impacted as we saw that devastation. And it was an honor to be there immediately afterwards, touring with the governor and with the FEMA administrator and team, just to understand and immediately start to talk to small businesses. We typically, we're not response. There's an immediate need to protect people and lives, and we're not involved in that, so we try to minimize our footprint, but be there to answer any questions for people. Because somebody might immediately, within hours, need to replace all their belongings, need to get a car. And so those immediate supports for renters and homeowners to get that capital to get back to their lives is what we're there for.
And you've been back again since that initial trip.
Yes.
What did you see changed, and how would you characterize kind of how that? I haven't been back in several months, so I'm curious.
Right. Well, I went back again this
this
past February to visit. It was a 6-month anniversary. So FEMA Administrator Criswell and I revisited again, along with United Way, to just make sure that the programs that we put into place on the ground, the people that we have on the ground, we have multiple centers embedded with disaster recovery centers, as well as our own business recovery centers, that the full resources were being made available. Because and in this case, this was pre a really significant rule change in how we do disasters between FEMA and SBA, where it used to be that you had to be denied from the SBA to then go get your grant from FEMA. That's a very demoralizing position to be in. It's always been the way that it is. We've now changed this, and so that's the good news going forward. We have a threshold that we know SBA will, that FEMA will definitely be able to serve, so you don't have to get denied first. Yes, that's a huge one. But under those circumstances of what our current rules were at FEMA, we had to make sure that we were aligned and really supporting people through these processes to give them the full support of whatever free grants and support that they could get. A loan from the SBA is wonderful. It's 30 years. It's anywhere between 3% to 4%, depending on the disaster. But truly, of course, a grant is ideal. And so we wanted to make sure that we were aligned and that we were helping people who were also having trouble accessing the SBA, because that's always a challenge too. I mean, you might not be capital ready, financial ready to be able to even qualify for a loan. So to be able to give people the financial support, the credit repair support to then come back and reapply. We wanted to be very holistic. My mantra is customer first, technology forward and equitable in everything we do, and that's what we've embedded in our programs to help support businesses.
Wow, was that a hard change to make? I could ask you all day about making that change. I mean, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I think the customer first philosophy, really centered. That as I explained it to my team when I grew up working in my father's business, like every single person who walked in that door was the most valuable thing to our family, and they were the future to us. And so, we needed to treat our customers the same way, and our partners who are also our customers. And I do think that that's allowed us to put ourselves in the shoes of our customers to understand how our products should evolve. And with the historic scaling of the SBA, it gave us an opportunity to invest in technology, shift our approach. I actually completely overhauled our disaster function at the SBA, having experienced Paradise, California, as in California state government, and seeing how the SBA operated in states. I had some strong ideas of how I wanted to improve it, but we completely moved all of our capital programs from disaster to our capital access, the folks who work with our lending institutions to deploy our regular lending. That enabled us to streamline, invest in technology. Now we've cut down, the processing time from could be months to less than 30 days. I see approvals in Baltimore, within 24 hours. We had some. So it's just a completely different approach to processing, but as well taking into account what someone's experiencing in a disaster. So deferring payments and interest altogether, zero interest for the first 12 months while you even seek the opportunity to even start rebuilding, as well as increasing the limits. So really we've tried to overhaul the SBA to make it more user-friendly and help communities like those in Lahaina who have just been devastated and are focusing on rebuilding community.
Thank you for bringing such common sense to all of that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to pick up on your note about technology, because it wouldn't be a conference this year without asking about AI. Whatever kind of technology, this seems such a place to do things better, faster, more efficiently. Disaster seems like the right space. What's the right marriage between what you do and what you offer, technologies that can do that better, faster, that can help small business owners? Like, looking into the future, what does that marriage look like?
Well, when we think about building resilience for small businesses and the communities they serve, technology is a key role. I mean, we saw during the pandemic the adoption of technology really enabling small businesses to survive. And many, as many of your members have done surveys show that a majority of businesses said they would not have survived with it if it weren't for technology. And so that adoption is great for future productivity gains and as well as market reach. And so we view technology as integral towards resilience building in the community. And I know that with the future of AI, we're seeing our small businesses adopt tools, whether immediately around social media and content creation, because writing those emails or whatever drafts you could get from ChatGPT was a benefit. And we have we've launched a technology, tools and resources made available through a Small Business Digital Alliance, and many great corporate technology partners providing those tools, including AI. And so I'm excited to see businesses leverage it for customer service, chatbot tools, and better efficiency gains within their management. And so I know that as we get into more AI tools to hopefully somewhat level the playing field, but at least give them the tools to more efficiently run their businesses.
Well, with customers first and technology forward, thank you so much for everything you do every day for small businesses. She loves small businesses. Apparently, we all love small businesses. The Chamber and Foundation sure do. So thank you again for being here. Will you come back again?
Oh, I'd love to. It's been an incredible partnership and really making sure that we're working to support the marketplace and especially our small businesses.
Well, it's changing fast, and so maybe we can have another conversation about how all of us can help you make SBA's services and resources better known.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.